So, what can you do to support your child's brain development? There are actually a number of things that you can do. First, let them know that you love them. We know you love them, right? But do they feel loved unconditionally on a daily basis? Of course, there are going to be times every day where they don't feel as loved because we're irritated. But generally, do they know that we love them? It turns out that having that feeling of love and support, no matter what, is a predictor of resilience for kids. And that relationship with you is the number one predictor that says that even if the entire world falls apart, if they know they've got you there, they are likely to do okay. Spend time with your child. Just 9 minutes a day, 3 in the morning, 3 after school or at dinner time, and 3 before they go to bed is really powerful for kids. Be present and let all other distractions go during this time. And, of course, if you can spend more completely quality time with your child than just 9 minutes a day, how wonderful for you and your child. And if you feel like, if your life is really, really busy and you don't have a lot of time to spend 9 minutes every single day in the morning to get their day started, if at all possible. And for sure at nighttime, as they end their day, to let them know how much you love them and you appreciate the fact that they're your kids. And if possible, at some point in time in between. Be consistent with your rules. And that's so that your child knows what their limits are. If you're consistent, kids know their boundaries and they don't go around questioning the limits over time. As soon as you give a little, be ready for your kids to try to push you a mile. If you've been inconsistent with your kids, you may have to let them know that, you've been learning some things, and one thing that you're going to do is be more consistent with your rules. It'll take them a little bit of time to push you because they're not going to believe you if you've not been consistent in the past. It's going to take a while for them to trust that you're going to be consistent. Once they know, though, they will stop testing you. Be consistent with your consequences. Again, so your child knows what to expect. You don't have to be the bad guys, when your kids know the consequences. You're just following through. They choose this by engaging in the behavior when they know the consequences. You spill your milk, you're going to have to clean it up. You punch your brother, we're going to have to sit here and figure out what else you can do instead. I would suggest that you don't actually get mad and you don't show a lot of emotion about it. You're just kind of matter of fact, and even express sorrow that they made this choice and that you have to follow through with this consequence. Remind them that next time, hopefully they'll be able to make a better choice. Stay calm. Kids learn how to push our buttons and they push them. And it's not because they necessarily want to push our buttons. Sometimes that's just how they get our attention, right? And so if you are able to just respond instead of react when they do something like breaking the rules, when you have your consequences in place, it's a little easier to just point out the issue and the consequence. And if it's a new behavior, you might tell the child the first time that you don't like this behavior and that you would prefer that they do this instead, what you want them to do. So if they're talking to you while you're on the phone and it's the first time they're doing it, or the first time that you're deciding you're going to tell them there's going to be a consequence, you can let them know, hey, when I'm talking on the phone, what I'd like for you to do is to wait. And as soon as I get off the phone, I will be available to you. So if that's the behavior that you prefer, tell your child the consequences if they continue to talk to you while you're on the phone. It might be that you will not be able to play the game that you were planning on playing, and you want to play the game. As much as possible, focus on the behavior that you want to see in your child. So I really want to talk to you, and I just need you to wait until I finish being on the phone. So when you see I'm on the phone, know that I want to talk to you, and I will do it when I get off the phone. And use encouraging words to help support your child being able to do what you want them to do. Have high and reasonable expectations. Doesn't matter what kids have been through, we still need to have high expectations of them. They tend to rise to our expectations when our expectations are reasonable. And part of this class is hopefully going to be helping you to understand or give you new ideas about what might be a reasonable expectation. Part of having a reasonable expectation is knowing what your child's capable of doing at his or her age and their developmental level. So it could be that your child is more advanced developmentally, and it could be that your child in this area anyway is maybe a little bit behind. There's a huge span of what kids can do at the same age. And if you have more than one child, you may have seen that. You may have your first child who is able to be really great at delaying gratification at 4 years of age. And then your next child comes along and they are not able to do that. So what we want to do is build on what they can do and continue to build additional skills for them so that they get to that point where they can delay gratification. Next, we want to point positive. Tell them what it is we want them to do. Notice when your child listens to you, thank them for it. Kids are more likely to spend their time in behavior that we notice. So if we're only noticing the bad, that's what they're going to spend their time doing. So we want to point positive. We want to notice when they are doing what we want them to do. Like, I really appreciate it when you put your clothes in the hamper instead of on the floor. Thank you. Notice that, and you will notice that your child does more of what you want them to do. This may sound like a ridiculous thing, but I can promise you that if you begin noticing what when your child does what you want them to do and point out what you want them to do, they're going to do it more often. Let your child know you believe in their ability and their work ethic. You want to get the message across to them that you know that they're capable and that if they work hard, they're going to be more likely to succeed. When they know that you believe in them, they will be more likely to do it. And they may begin by saying, I can't do it. Then you might spend some time supporting them so that they can do it. And then say, see, I knew you can do it. I knew you could do it. Next time, you can provide just a tiny bit less support to them so that they can do it. And again, say, I knew you could do it. Let them know that you believe in their ability. We want to focus on what they are doing well. Help foster a growth mindset. A growth mindset is that mindset that realizes that we can learn from our mistakes, that's why we make mistakes. We learn from them, and that we get better with practice. When kids say, I can't do this, then we say, I know it's really hard in the beginning, but when we practice, we keep getting better. So let's practice. And then you can support your child doing better. And this can help them stick with it when things get hard. When we talk about them, their day at school, they might say something that, they didn't like or that they weren't able to do. And that's another opportunity for you to be able to say, I know it's hard. And as you keep practicing that, you're just going to get better and better, and you're going to be able to do it. So we want to foster that growth mindset. Talk to your child about their day, how it went, how they addressed their challenges. What did you do when those things were hard? This helps kids know that we're interested in their lives, first of all, and then what they experience matters. You know, what we want to do here is not necessarily give too much advice, but listen. Note what it sounds like they might be feeling. You might say the feeling that you think they might be feeling at that moment. Validate that feeling, that you can see why they're feeling that way. Then ask how they think they could solve it. What might work for them? You'll be surprised at what kind of ideas your kids come up with. And what you're doing here is you're helping kids know that they are capable of solving their own problem. And then, the other thing that this can do is help them realize that there are different ways to solve problems. And sometimes they have to think about it. There might be times where you want to give them advice and you might say, one thing that I might consider doing if I was in your shoes is this. I don't know how that fits for you. And then lastly, give your child attention when things are going well. It decreases their need to try to get to your attention at other times when you're busy if they know that you're available to them. When you notice something that's going well, tell them, hey, thanks for putting up your shoes. Thanks for being quiet while I was on the phone. I really appreciate that. I want to spend some time with you now. It might be you only have 2 minutes to spend with them, but let them know that you want to, whatever it is that you might do at that moment with your child.